Attention passionate New York Giants fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on New York Giants' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true New York Giants fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and New York Giants fans. Let's get to the news now, guys. Let me tell you, there's some intriguing and potentially game-changing news coming out of the NFL, specifically involving our beloved Giants. As we all know, the NFC East has been a fiercely competitive division, with every team looking to assert dominance, especially after what we saw last season and the significant moves happening across the league. And right now, the buzz is all about the Tennessee Titans and their recent trade maneuvering, which could have ripple effects that reach all the way to us here in New York. The Titans, sitting at a 2-5 record and struggling on defense, particularly in their secondary, are making a bold move by trading away Roger McCreary, a talented young cornerback, to the Giants, in exchange for a second-round pick in 2026. This isn't just a small move, it's a statement, and it signals the Titans are looking to rebuild, especially on the defensive side. You see, the Titans are facing a lot of issues right now. Their defense, especially their secondary, has been leaky, giving up an average of 81 yards per pass attempt, which is pretty alarming. Their cap situation is tight, around $15 million, and they're desperately in need of rebuilding their offensive line and finding a franchise quarterback. But this trade, involving McCreary, who's just 25 years old, isn't necessarily about cap relief or a rebuild for the Titans. It's more about acquiring draft capital to bolster their future plans, especially as they look to find players who can fit into their transition phase. McCreary, with a deal worth around $10 million, is a player who might be better suited for a team that's looking to contend sooner rather than later. For the Titans, the focus seems to be on prioritizing draft picks, especially for their edge rushers and other key positions, to accelerate their rebuild. But here's where it gets really interesting for us Giants fans, because McCreary isn't just a placeholder. He's a slot corner with elite man coverage skills, a player who can make a real difference in the nickel and dime packages. In 2025, he's recorded 40 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 7 pass deflections, with an impressive coverage grade of 85.6, according to PFF. His EPA per target is around 38, which indicates he's very effective at limiting the yards after catch and disrupting passing offenses. He's allowed a completion percentage of just 52%, and he's missed only 6 tackles, a pretty solid stat line for a young player. And even though he missed 1 game in Week 3 due to a hand injury, he's been a consistent presence when healthy. What makes McCreary so valuable is his ability to limit underneath routes. Imagine him as a sleigh light, if you will, a player who can shut down the quick passes in the slot, reduce yards per separation to a negative number, and essentially become a nightmare for offenses trying to attack the middle of the field. Over his career, he's accumulated 180 tackles, 6 interceptions, and 35 pass deflections, maintaining an average PFF grade of about 84.9. He's also in the top 20 among slot corners for snaps, with an efficiency rate of around 82%, which shows he's reliable and consistent. His ability to limit short and intermediate passes makes him a perfect fit in today's pass-heavy NFL, especially against teams with dynamic slot receivers or tight ends. Let's talk about the Titans' perspective for a moment. They're spending around $15 million in cap space, and their biggest needs are at quarterback and along the offensive line. McCreary's deal, worth around $10 million, doesn't quite fit their transition phase, but it's a fair investment for a young player with upside. Their priority right now is to acquire draft picks to bolster their pass rush and offensive line, especially as they prepare for a rebuild. Critics and analysts are saying that this move might create some coverage gaps in their defense, as they've allowed an average of 26 points per game, not terrible, but not great either. They're also allowing around 1-2 yards per pass more after the trade, which indicates some vulnerability in the secondary. But it's part of a broader strategy to gather assets for the future, especially for free agency and draft picks in 2026. Now, shifting our focus to the Giants, and this is where it gets really exciting. McCreary's addition could be a game changer for our secondary. His presence is projected to increase our pass deflections rate by about 20%, pushing it from around 12% to potentially over 14%. That's a big deal because it means more turnovers, more opportunities for our offense, and overall, a more resilient and aggressive defensive unit. When you compare McCreary to our current cornerbacks, the difference is noticeable. He has 2 interceptions this season compared to 0 for some of our other guys, and his PFF grade of 85. 6 is significantly higher than the 74, 3 of our existing CBs. His allowed completion percentage is just 52%, compared to about 65% for others. These numbers suggest he can be a true lockdown in the slot, especially in high-pressure situations, like in the playoffs or against a pass-heavy team like the Eagles. And if we look at the overall impact, the projections place McCreary's addition as reducing our points allowed from around 27 points per game to approximately 23. That's a huge step forward. Another interesting aspect is how he could elevate the Giants' defense in critical moments, especially against teams with talented tight ends or slot receivers. Think about the upcoming matchups with teams that rely heavily on their passing game. Having a player like McCreary, who can blank top slot targets, makes our defense much more resilient. This move also synergizes well with our safeties, especially when we're dealing with injuries or limitations at the wide receiver position. McCreary's presence on the field could increase our possession time by about 9 minutes per game, giving our offense more opportunities to control the clock and extend drives. Now let's talk about the big picture here. If McCreary performs as projected, and all signs point to him being a top-tier slot corner, it could significantly boost our chances in the postseason. Our Super Bowl odds could improve from around +10, 0 to about +4, 500, which is a remarkable shift. This essentially means that our chances of winning the Super Bowl are actually doubling, thanks to this strategic move. The simulations, like those from PFF, show that with McCreary in the lineup, our odds of winning against teams like the Cowboys increase by over 12%. That's because he can neutralize their tight ends and slot receivers, who are often the key to their offensive success. And let's not forget, this move also makes our defense more adaptable and resilient to upsets. When facing teams with strong passing attacks or teams that tend to surprise opponents, having a lockdown slot corner like McCreary helps us stay competitive and even pull off unexpected victories. The Giants are on a path to becoming one of the most formidable defenses in the league, and this trade is a clear indication of their intent to compete at the highest level in 2024 and beyond. The Titans, on the other hand, seem to be in limbo, rebuilding, trying to find their identity again, and focusing on acquiring assets for the future. So as Giants fans, we should be pretty excited about this development. It's not every day that a move like this happens, a young, talented player like McCreary coming into our secondary, elevating our entire unit. The coaching staff now has more options to deploy, and our defense can become more aggressive, more disruptive. The combination of McCreary with our existing safeties and other cornerbacks could be a nightmare for offenses in the NFC East, especially with the Eagles' explosive passing game and the Cowboys' versatile attack. We're talking about transforming our defense into a top 15 unit, which is a huge step forward from where we've been this season. And of course, all of this points to a very promising future. The Giants, with this move, are positioning themselves as serious contenders, not just for the division, but for a deep playoff run. The potential for a Super Bowl appearance in the coming years is looking more realistic, especially if they continue to make smart moves like this one. The team is building a foundation that combines veteran leadership, young talent, and strategic acquisitions. It's a moment of optimism for us, the fans, knowing that the front office is committed to doing whatever it takes to bring the Lombardi Trophy back to New York. Now, before I wrap up, I want to emphasize how crucial it is to stay tuned. The NFL is always full of surprises, and the Giants are clearly not done yet. If this trade proves to be as impactful as the projections suggest, we could see a real shift in the NFC East power dynamics. That means more exciting games, more thrilling moments, and more reasons to believe that the Giants are on the rise. The future looks bright, and moves like this reinforce that belief. The team's defense is getting a major upgrade, and the division better watch out because the Giants are coming back stronger than ever. So make sure to keep your eyes on all the developments, stay engaged, and let's keep the conversation going in the comments about what you think this trade means for us in the long run. And now, New York Giants fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and the New York Giants. And don't forget, I'll be back, Soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest New York Giants news.